our top 10 most anticipated board games coming to Essen Spiel
2021. Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Dell.
And I'm Kevin Delp. Today we are talking about our most anticipated board games coming to Essen Spiel in just a couple days, weeks, whenever you are watching this video. Some of Tantrum House, I should say, will be there. Will, Sarah, Jonah, and Chantel. So definitely say hi to them over at the Genius Games booth if you stop by.
Yes. Now, the list that we put together, I did not put mine in any specific order.
A little bit of an order.
And we based it off of the preview list that's on BGG. So it is possible that some of these games might not actually make it to the convention.
And there might be some amazing games that weren't even on the list. So
right.
And then we did sort of like try to have some parameters to this list because there's going to be a lot of demos. There's going to be a lot of like older games and games that are like coming out later in 2022, but we wanted to sort of confine our list to games that we feel, hopefully, like Melissa said, will be available. They're published games September, October, November, December. That's sort of the month's time frames that we worked with. So we did the best we could, but we sort of tried to keep the list as confined as possible.
Right, and we also didn't put any games on the list that we talked about in our Gen Con
that's right, our Gen Con
preview
list.
video. Obviously, with the convention so close together this year, there's going to be some overlap. So after you watch this video, you can take a look at the Gen Con anticipated
I'll put the link right up there,
list, and some of those games you might also see at Essen.
Definitely. Well, why don't we start with our game first that we want to talk about?
Okay.
Our first game.
Go for it,
A game that we've actually played.
Mm-hmm.
This is called Riverside from Chili Fox Games. Now, before we talk about Riverside, Chili Fox is a newly formed board game company from Norway, a Norwegian board game company, just formed last year. And they said as Riverside and another game, I think it was called Doodle Dash. I've not personally been able to play Doodle Dash.
I think we highlighted it in one of our Saturday morning board game shows.
Cool. Maybe I did play it. I don't know.
Kevin can't even remember.
But I really enjoy playing Riverside, so I wanted to highlight this as an anticipated game coming to Spiel. This is a roll and write.
It is a roll and write, which is something that I love. Almost every single roll and write I've played has at least gotten a thumbs up from me.
I think this is also on your list. Why did you add Riverside to your list?
Well, it's a roll and write. So basically there's this kind of boat going down the river, and at certain spots you can take a look at different scenery, animals, things like that, and you're filling in bubbles on your sheet on your different ships to try to unlock more scoring possibilities.
Some comboing going on a little bit. I like in this game the modular board.
Right.
So that there's a little bit of variety every time, or replayability, I should say, every time you are coming.
Because the river is going to be different.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that for Riverside. Any other thoughts? Moving on?
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right, what do you have?
All right, I have Luna Capital from De Vere Games.
Yes.
This is one that we actually got a peek at Gen Con.
Yes.
They were doing some demos, and it is a card drafting, tile laying game.
Oh, there's two things that definitely pique my interest.
I do love those. And then there are lots of different scoring parameters based on how you build your city with your tiles and what you collect. And it just seemed like there's going to be a lot of tough decisions, meaty decisions about the cards that you're drafting and the tiles that you're laying. And I thought the aesthetic was really interesting too.
I like
kind of like almost comic book graphic novel type art to it.
I'm intrigued about Luna Capital as well from De Vere. So hopefully it'll be coming soon. I believe they're going to send us a copy and we'll be showing it off on our channel in a few weeks or months.
All right. What about you, Kevin? What's next on your list?
My list is The Siege of Rohandar. This is from Ludonova, and the designer is Reiner Knizia, and he's designed lots and lots of games. I think it's Siege of Rohandar or Runadar. I think it's Rohandar. Anyway, the art really pops out as well because it's from Andrew Bosley. Love his artwork or his art style as an illustrator. And this is for 1 to 4 players. Takes about an hour to hour and a half to play. What intrigues me is not only the designer and the illustrator, but also it's a co-op deck building type game. So I'm intrigued with what that will bring to the table. Siege of Rohandar.
Interesting. My next game is Mortum Medieval Detective.
Okay.
This is a co-op deduction game.
Okay.
And Arcane Wonders is one of the companies that's bringing it. It's set in medieval Europe, but kind of an alternate version where the superstitions and the legends are actually true.
Okay.
So I think it's probably going to have kind of like a grim, spooky feel to it. Now, one thing that I'm not exactly sure about, it says that the game comes with 3 scenarios that basically make an overarching story. And then it uses the word each case is 3 hours. So I'm not sure if each scenario is 3 hours for a total of 9, or if
split those up.
or if each one's about an hour for a total of 9. So it could be a really long deduction game or not quite as long. I wasn't quite sure from the description there, but I love deduction as in like mystery deduction and logic as opposed to social deduction. So this one looked interesting to me to hopefully find out some more about Mortum Medieval Detective.
I thought we could both talk about the next game.
Okay.
Because we both played it. It is from Flat Out Games, Cascadia.
Ah, yes.
So Cascadia is from Flat Out Games. They've made a really amazing game with their original game that is
Calico?
based off of quilting and cats and Calico. It's really easy to get to the table. It's fun to play. Calico sort of builds on that concept.
Cascadia.
Sorry, Cascadia builds on that concept. Thank you. And it actually is very similar to Luna Capital a little bit in the how you're pulling tiles plus a little token, the same thing. It's got that sort of mechanic, and then you're adding in Cascadia this like terrain plus wildlife, and trying to get them all synced up with the terrain, sort of as you're building your area, Cascadia area.
Yeah, your wildlife area.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think we played, at least I know I played it in one of our playthroughs on the channel, I think when it was still in prototype form. But yeah, again, pretty simple mechanics. You're taking a tile and a terrain piece, but then there's so much to think about where you're placing them and how it is all going to combine together for those scoring opportunities. And I believe there's different scoring cards that you can put out during the game, so there's some variability in the setup. But Cascadia, definitely recommend it flat out. And is it AEG?
Yeah, I think AEG picked it up as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention another game real quick before you get to the next one.
Okay, before I get to my next
one. It's Pessoa. I believe that's how you say it. Pessoa is a 1 to 4 player game that plays in about 45 to 75 minutes. This is coming from Pythagoras. And this game is based off of Pessoa. He's a writer, a poet. And it has to do with heteronyms. Now, a heteronym is a word that is spelled the same but sounds differently when I say it, so it has different meanings. And it's a worker placement card drafting game, so I'm very intrigued on how it's going to combine all of that into the gameplay.
Well, I like words, and I like worker placement, so could be interesting.
Cool. What's your next game?
All right, my next game is Witchstone, which we happen to have just got in the mail.
Literally just got in the mail.
But we haven't even taken the wrappings off yet, so we haven't played it yet. This is from Hutch Games and R&R. It has what I'm going to call action dominoes. So they have like 2 different actions on the side of the tile, and as you place them down, if you can connect the similar actions, the icons, then you can make your action more powerful. So it has a bit of a tile placement aspect to it where you're trying to arrange your tiles in a certain way to really maximize your actions.
I've been really impressed with R&R recently, especially with Mystic Paths earlier this year. That was a very fun game that we played, so hopefully Witchstone is in the line of being fun as well.
Yeah, so check it out at Essen Spiel.
All right, my next one is from Delicious Games.
Ooh, delicious.
This is Messina 1347. Now, this is company that Vladimir Suchet has sort of founded, and he's a designer in the game.
I really enjoy a lot of games that he's designed. Underwater Cities, Praga,
Woo!
Pulsar 2849. Yeah.
I will say, out of all those, this one sounds like a little bit more like, I know, like the historical. I mean, Praga is definitely historical, but this one's 1347. This is something that's definitely talking about like the Black Death during that time, and people are trying to escape the city, but also trying to help at the same time. So there's some worker placement going on.
Interesting.
It says it is for 1 to 4 players. Takes about 45 to 2 hours to play. So that's probably player count. But yeah, you are one of the Messina families, and I think you have to make some interesting and tough choices throughout the game, whether you're going to be helping the people that are dying or trying to like escape. So
interesting. Yeah, definitely would like to try that one out, because basically all of Vladimir Suchet's games have been a hit for me.
Yeah. All right. Next one.
I am looking at Living Forest.
Okay. Yeah. This is also on my list.
Syncing up. This is from Ludonaut, and it's for 2 to 4 players. Plays in about 40 minutes. The box is very whimsical. The front of the box.
That's what drew me in, that box
tree.
cover. Yes.
And this one is a push your luck game.
Oh, this is definitely up your style. Up your alley.
I'm terrible at push your luck games. I always push at the wrong spot. I hold when I should push, and I push when I should stay. Yeah. And it says that it has a deck bag or pool building aspect.
So that's probably what you're doing to push your luck. How far are you going to go?
Yes, with simultaneous action selection and tile placement. So what caught your eye, Kevin? You said the
art definitely. I like I like games with simultaneous action selection because I feel like that makes the game move. I feel like sometimes in turn-based games, a lot of times it's like it's my turn, but you're going to take like a long time to get back to you, so you're not really involved in a lot of other people's turns, but I like that in games. Okay.
So Living Forest, what's next on your list?
My next game is Nicodemus. This is from Bombix, and it's a 2-player only game. Okay. And it plays in 45 to 60 minutes. It's got hand management in the game. You return to that universe. It's got the same cover as Imaginarium.
Oh, so it's kind of the same world as Imaginarium with the wacky kind of inventions and inventors. Yep.
So in the game, since it's a 2-player only game, one player is basically trying to block another, trying to basically figure out which way you're going in the game. It's got the steampunk art style to it. That intrigues me.
All right. Well, my next game is Settlement.
Oh!
Which we also just got in the mail.
So we're just giving you a sneak preview of what's coming.
Yeah, of things that we would really like to play soon and actually haven't gotten a chance yet. This has tile placement, worker placement, and some set collection. So those are all things that...
iGames. Yes.
Those are all things that I find intriguing as we glance at the back of the box here. There looks like to be some cool meeple shapes, like some dragons and a hydra.
Definitely has like a medieval theme on the back. I don't know if I would say medieval on the front. I mean, I guess I got the castles.
It's kind of interesting with the person's face on there.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to, I think, build a settlement and attract heroes to your area and get the resources that you need to build. So, it sounds like a Euro to the core, which
it says Euro
good
game
to
right
me.
Here. Yeah.
So that is Settlement. Kevin, what's your next one?
My next game is coming from Cosmodrome Games, and they put out a lot of good games in the past as well, with smartphone and games like that. This game is called Astrum, Astrum, for 1 to 4 players. Takes about a half hour to play. This is an abstract strategy type game. So I know Melissa's not into the abstract strategy games, but there's also tile placement and drafting.
Oh, I do like both of those aspects.
So what you are trying to do in the game is fill up your board in the right way, and that's the sort of the main goal, is that you're on your player board. So with the sort of theme of constellations, that's where the Astrum comes in. So you got some constellations going, and I know that theme also is kind of interesting with the Search for Planet X, sort of the
the looking at the stars.
Looking at the stars. So
All right. My next game is Hippocrates.
Oh.
This is from Game Brewer, and it's basically right after Hippocrates, and you are also doctors going out to try to help
with
people.
With the Cathutheus, the snake?
Whatever it's called. Yeah, that medical symbol. It has auction bidding, which...
Wow, you're just picking good ones here.
I know. But then it has tile placement and card drafting. Okay. And I did think the theme was pretty interesting.
Okay, cool. My next one is Ariantis, and this is from Cranio Creations. Haven't heard from them in a long time. Cranio Creations. Mm-hmm. So Ariantis is for 2 to 4 players. It says it re-implements Carlos Magnus, which I have not played.
I have not played that either.
But I think it's definitely revitalized the theme of the older game, and it's definitely bright and colorful. And it says it plays in about a half an hour. It's got hand management. It's got it says it has team base to it as well. So I do remember it's got like a magic theme to it. So you're like wizards and like in a wizarding school, not like
not like the other wizarding school.
That's right. Yeah. The theme looked kind of interesting, and it seems like it was based off of a good game. So.
Okay. Well, I didn't have any other main ones on my list. Did you have?
Yes, you do.
Oh, one that we match up on.
I know. I was like, you forgot.
I didn't write it down.
Our number one, even though Melissa didn't order them.
Yes.
So, Lost Ruins of Arnak is one of our favorite games from last year.
It is
from CGE, and we actually played and actually helped them out
at Gen Con. We helped demo in their game room.
And now they're releasing at Essen Spiel the expansion to Lost Ruins of Arnak called Expedition Leaders. So this game is really cool because if you're not familiar with Lost Ruins, it combines worker placement plus some deck building. And we got a little taste. I got a little preview at Gen Con from CGE.
Yeah, so the expansion, one of the big things it's going to bring is the leaders that you can play with. And they're going to have special abilities and even a few special cards in their decks. So it's, depending on the leader you get, it might sort of pivot your
push you in a certain direction.
Strategy based on the leader that you're playing, which I thought is really cool.
Some other things that the expansion will bring as well is some alternative research tracks.
Right, yeah. Because I know some people are like, like the research track can get pretty stale, although there are 2 sides to the board, and that other side, that snake side, can be a little tricky.
And then it also will bring some new items and artifacts as well. So definitely check out Lost Ruins of Arnak if you're going to be at Essen. The expansion, it's called the Expedition Leaders expansion. All right, now we can talk about Melissa's. We always have to have a top 10 with honorable mentions, right?
Because I can't really narrow it down to 10, and then I don't actually want to order them. So there were a few honorable mentions. Some of these, I wasn't sure if they'll actually be available for purchase. One of them is Azul, yes. Queen's Garden.
Big fans of Azul. Summer Pavilion is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I think Summer Pavilion is probably my favorite out of the 3.
Standalone sequels, or whatever you want to call. I've heard if you like the Summer Pavilion, you're going to love this game. That's what I heard.
So Queen's Garden, so maybe even a little bit more of the strategy and pushing that aspect of Azul.
So Origins, First Builders, is a dice worker placement game. I don't know if Board and Dice is going to be at Essen or not.
Yeah, or it may be another company that has the rights in Germany, potentially. So,
but we've played this already.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts is you have to really kind of plan ahead what you're going to do because you don't have a ton of actions and you need to get things to get. Kevin was able to get lots of extra actions.
You still beat me.
True.
I was going action after action. So this is the game, and I'll just say this is my first thoughts. This is the game where you can do a lot of awesome stuff, but if you're not doing it to get points, you're not going to win.
So you have to have kind of that plan of, I want to get the points this way, and this is how I have to do it.
Yes, so planning. But I really enjoyed it. Even though I didn't win, I still enjoyed all the awesome stuff I was doing in it. All right, and our last honorable mention, and I don't know if this company's going to be there or not, but we met them for the first time at Gen Con.
Right.
And they gave us Oltree. This is Studio H, which is a sort of a sub-company of Hachette. And Hachette is sort of like the parent company, and they have a bunch of like Scorpion Mask and Studio H and some others that are sort of underneath them.
They're distributing and
some studios underneath them. Oltree, we've been able to play. They sort of like say it's like a reverse tower defense game where you're actually trying to build your tower.
Right. It is cooperative, but it also has some story elements to it. It is scenario based, so you're going through like cards, like a little booklet that tell you what happened each round.
I really like that.
And then there are encounters and problems that you're facing that are cards, and they're gonna have some story elements like, oh, there was a flood, or there's marauders coming through and stealing things, and you have to deal with those random elements, but there is some story attached to them, so it's not just the mechanics.
One of the main reasons I like this game, though,
is the art. Yes, Kevin's favorite artist.
My favorite artist in the board game industry, Vincent Dutray, and he did an amazing job with the with not only the box cover but the art inside the game as well. And hopefully we'll be getting a video, standalone video out for this game someday. In the future, we just have a lot of games to get through. So
that was more than 10 games, maybe even more than 20. So lots of games to be on the lookout for if you're going to Essen Spiel. And even if you're not, a lot of these will be coming on the market soon.
We want to hear from you, so let us know in the comments what games from this list sounded interesting to you. Are you excited about? Were there games that we didn't mention that we should have mentioned? Let us know about those in the comments below. We would love to hear about that.
Thanks for watching.